She's seeming. See you guys seeming. Yo. It's a warm ass day. Let's go outside.
Greetings! I hope you're all well. Today I'm coming to you with a storytime video. So this storytime video is going to be about my time in Morocco. And I have some slides. I don't know if I'm going to insert pictures or video or both at the end of my story time, just so you can kind of get a feel about how it was when I was in Morocco, like get visual aspects, if you will. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So I'll leave the how I got there a little bit short, just so I don't waste enough mic. So I'll leave the how I got there a little bit short, so I'll give you a quick condensed version of how I got there, just so this video isn't super long. So a little bit over a year ago, I went to Salamanca, Spain. And Salamanca is a smaller town city in Spain, and it's kind of like where a lot of the college kids are. So yeah, so I was with a group of 19 other individuals who are also all amazing people. And yeah, so we were able to take little side trips or excursions, and before we even got there, we were all in a group message on Facebook, and one of the girls in our group really wanted to go to Morocco, so she brought it up. And some of us were like, yeah, sure, that sounds cool, not sure yet, da 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 da. I was down for it because I'm always down to travel, so I was like, for sure, if it is actually like a legit thing, then yeah, I'll come with. So that's what ended up happening. And before we went, there was 5 of us girls that wanted to go for sure, and we were like set, we were ready, like this is the day we want to go, and this is the area we're going to stay in, da 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 da. And some of the people in our group, as well as other individuals we had met in Spain, were just kind of wary of our safety, just because it was just a group of females and we were going to a male-dominated country. So I guess it just kind of was a concern. We didn't care. We were just like, it's whatever, you know, we're just gonna go. Women travel there all the time. It shouldn't be a problem. But some of the guys in our group just didn't want us to go alone, and they were like, well, whatever, Morocco sounds cool anyway. So they decided to tag along. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So the day comes and we get to Morocco. We land in Marrakech, Morocco, which is one of the more popular cities in Morocco. And when we get to the airport, it's nighttime. So first of all, we're thinking, you know, everybody's probably gonna be sleeping, or, you know, the night's just gonna be pretty calm, because we got there pretty late. I don't remember exactly what time, but I'm pretty sure it was like at least midnight, if not later than midnight. So first off, we were trying to figure out how we were gonna get to our hostel, and the hostel was like pretty much right in the center, or like I guess right on the border of the main marketplace or the plaza. So it was either we took a bus or we took a cab, and so it was like this little debate going on, trying to figure out the currency differences, if it would be better if we took a taxi, or if it would be better if we took a cab, if it would be better if we took a cab or a bus. So we ended up taking the bus, and on our way to our hostel, it was a little bit live. So we saw people on just getting on buses, getting out of taxis, running around, people in carts and on horses and all this. So we're like, okay, it's a little bit live. Maybe there will be a little bit something to do. So we get to the main plaza, which is where our hostel was going to be. So we get to the main plaza and we were like, yo, it is lit. Everybody's up, like it's just buzzing live, and all these little kids are running around playing like this game. I don't know what the game is called. It was crazy lit, and we were like, yo, we're gonna drop our stuff off at the hostel and we're going to come right back out and explore. So we didn't even get to the hostel before we met somebody. So the first guy we met, I believe his name was Mohammed, and I'll show you, there will be a picture of him at the end for sure. And yeah, so we met him and he was just talking to us about the area, and he's like, yeah, there's so many places to explore, eat, this and that. And he told us that his English was perfect. So that like brought in a discussion of how good his English was. And so he told us, like, so pretty much everybody can speak at least English and obviously Arabic or Farsis. And so he speaks Arabic, English, Italian, Spanish, and French. So we were freaking blown away already, and he even spoke a little bit of each language. And yeah, so it was crazy. Like, everybody has to be able to at least communicate with the people who are coming in, the travelers that are coming in, he said. And obviously, because that's how they make money. And this is a marketplace, it's not just for fun, they're selling stuff, so they need to be able to communicate with the people who are not locals or whatever, just in order to make money for a living. So we talked to him and he was like, you know, come over to our my I don't know if it's called, it's not a restaurant because it was like under a tent outside, and it was really cool. So he just told us to come over to his like shop, and so we went over there, we all sat down, and we ate dinner. And so every restaurant, at least every restaurant that we noticed, and we were told by a few people too, that a kebab is like a traditional piece in like every restaurant, or a staple piece in every restaurant, just like almost every restaurant in America has like a cheeseburger. So, but their kebabs look a lot different than like American ones. It's pretty much just meat, and the pieces of meat are a lot smaller. So we had that. They give you like a few, like 5, I want to say, kebabs, and they're like on these metal skewers. And so we just all sat and talked and chatted, and like we were talking with him, Muhammad, and somebody else that he worked with, and it was just really cool. So while we're sitting there, one of the girls in our group, Fanta, she gets swindled. And so what happened was, a woman, so people are walking around trying to sell stuff too. Some people have actual little stands or stores or whatever, and other people are like walking around selling stuff. So this woman was walking around trying to do henna on people, and so she came up and she's like, oh yeah, I could do your henna for you, da da da. And she was like, oh no thank you, I'm okay. And she's like, no, it'll be free, just to try, it'll be free. And she's like, okay, so I want her to pay. And she's like, yeah. And so we're all like sitting right there, like we can hear this lady, and she is like confirming this will be free. We're like, okay. Or she's like, okay, cool, whatever. So she gives her hand, and she just does some henna on her hand really quick, and she's like, okay, $5. And she's like, you just told me it was free. And then she suddenly couldn't really speak English anymore. She's like, no, you have to pay, it's $5, you have to pay. And she's like almost yelling at her, and there's a tiny bit of a scuffle or argument. And so she's like, whatever, I'll just pay. So she pays her, and the lady goes away. And so we're like, okay, well, that's the end of that, whatever. So then we finish dinner, and then we get up, and we still haven't gone to our hostel yet, but we're just like so fascinated with everything that's going around, everything that's going on around us. And so we just decide to like chill for a little bit. We're just kind of in the same area, by the same stand and everything, by the same tent, I should say. And so we all kind of like disperse a little bit, but we're all like within eye range, like everybody can see each other. And there's 10 of us, yeah. So Fanta gets swindled yet again. But whatever. So this other, it was a different woman actually. So this other woman comes up, and she's like trying to do her other hand with henna, and she keeps saying no, but somehow, some way, she convinces her, also saying that it was gonna be free. And so she lets her do her other hand. Lo and behold, she has to pay. So they're kind of into an argument now, and the rest of us are like hearing this and we're like, yo, what's going on over there? So we start heading over there. Gerardo, he is he's also the tallest. He comes over and he's like, what's going on? And Fonz is like, she said it was gonna be free, blah blah blah. And so they're kind of going back and forth like this. All three of them are going back and forth, and he's like trying to defend Fanta, saying like, you know, no, like you told her it was gonna be free. That other woman just did the same thing, blah blah blah. Ended up so the end of it was Fanta ended up just paying her just to get away. And so Gerardo is like, okay, look, everybody come over here now. We're all going to the hostel, putting our stuff away, and we need to have like a little group meeting. So we all go to the hostel, which is literally like 5 minutes away, walking distance. We put our stuff away, and we all sit down and talk. We kind of like set down ground rules, you know, so don't get swindled, be careful what you're doing, da 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 da, all that good stuff. So then we head back out, and it was so cool, like it was amazing. So we just like, I don't know, it was just amazing. We all just walked around. There's people with monkeys, people like serious people with monkeys, there's people with donkey carts, there's just all this different stuff, all these little shops that are open. Of course, everybody's trying to get us to come over to their stuff and yada yada yada. And so we just explored, and the rest of the night was great. So another day that we were there, some people wanted to go one place and others wanted to go to another place. So we decided to split up and meet later on in the day. So the group I was with, in both groups, had a dude. So the group that I was with, we just kind of were exploring the daytime marketplace, and there was a guy who was a snake charmer. I have never seen a snake charmer in real life, and I thought that was super cool. So I was recording, and I wasn't even like, okay, so I kind of stopped a little bit because he was like calling me over. So I was recording video like just like this, like walking, recording everything that I'm seeing, like the market, whatever. So I'm just recording, and then I see the dude with his snakes, and he has I think at least two, but he has either 2 or 3 black cobras. 1 or 2 of them were just like laying down next to him, and another one was like in his basket, just, you know, being hypnotized by his flute playing. And it's not a flute, it's called a punji or a gourd, G-O-U-R-D, and P-U-N-G-I, I believe, punji or a gourd, and it's like a flute-like instrument. I'll try to insert a clip of it now. And yes, so he was playing one of those, and that's what snake charmers use to hypnotize snakes. And so he like sees me being fascinated, and he's like, come over, and he's like trying to coax me to come over, but I didn't want to go over because I knew that I would have to pay, and I didn't want to pay. I was just like, I can see you from here, it's cool, like whatever. So I'm just like, oh no, I'm okay, thank you, and I keep going. So then he like runs over to me, and I'm a little bit behind from our group because I'm just like looking at everything, recording everything, and so he like runs over to me, and he like just stops me. He's like, no, you have to pay. And I'm like, no, I didn't come over to you, like what? He's like, no, you take pictures, you're taking pictures. And I'm like, I took a video. I didn't even say that. I was like, no, I didn't take any pictures. He's like, yes, you did. And I'm like, well, I took video, but I was just going, you know, like I didn't come up and record you. I just was going. You stopped me to try to get me to come over. I didn't, and I went on my merry way. But he's like persistent, and he's like, no, you have to pay, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no, like I'm not paying you, no. And he's now getting in my face. And so the guy that was in our group, Rico, he just hears, and he like runs over, and he just separates us and gets in front of me. He's like, yo, like what's going on? And he's like, oh, she has to pay me, she has to pay me, she's taking pictures and blah blah blah. He's like, she's not taking pictures, because he knew already that I was just taking video, and you know, just taking video as we walk. So he's like yelling, and he's like, no, she's not paying you, like leave us alone. Rico's like, all right, you know, whatever. So he gives him €1, which is like the currency there are called dirham, and so he gives the man €1, which is like 10 dirham. And so I was gonna show you guys a dirham. So dirham. So this is what dirham looks like. This is 20 dirham. Hopefully you can kind of see that. It's not too blurry, I hope. And the guy's like, no, she still has to pay me. And he's like, now Rico's like getting mad. He's like, no, like she's not gonna pay you. I just gave you €1. Relax. And he's like, and then he just like walks away and like mumbles under his breath. So I'm pretty sure he's like cussing us out, I don't know. But like we kept on our merry way after that. And so we were like, Rico's like, no more, like if somebody, don't get people in your video. So we're not gonna get people in the video or pictures of people unless you do it on the slick. So yeah, and it's kind of like, you know, if you've been to California, Hollywood Boulevard, or Times Square in New York, you will know, you know, people that dress up in costumes, they get really peeved if you don't pay and you just take a picture of them, which is understandable because, you know, they're doing that to try to get money or whatever. But in this situation, I felt like it was different, but whatever. So I thought that this incident reminded me of Jasmine and Aladdin. If you've never watched Aladdin, the Disney movie Aladdin, the first one, it has a scene where the princess Jasmine, she runs away from the palace and she goes into the market because she wants to be free and live a regular life and doesn't want to be confined by the palace walls and this and that. So she like puts on rags, goes into the palace and explores. This little boy is trying to get an apple from a cart of some guy. And so she sees him struggling and she's like, oh, here you go, and just gives him an apple. And the dude was like, you better be able to pay for that. And she's like, no, I don't have any money. And dude was about to cut off her hand over an apple. An apple. A hand for an apple. For some reason, I don't think that that's quite fair. Anyways, Aladdin comes to her rescue and pretends he's her sister who's like crazy or whatever, but it just reminded me of that incident. And people also think that Marrakech is supposed to be the inspiration behind Agrabah, in case you didn't know. Disney facts. So after that incident, we went to go eat, and we went to this restaurant. I have no idea what it was called, but we went to this restaurant, and me already loving to travel and try new things, I like to try new foods as well. So I got rabbit tagine, and it is like a hot dish with rabbit and like a bunch of vegetables, carrots, onion, potatoes, and it was so freaking good. It was like, it was so good. And that was my first time having rabbit. I apologize to you vegans out there. But yeah, it was really good. And they served it in something that looked like this. So, but it was much bigger than this. And I don't really know what this is called, I'm not gonna lie to you, but isn't that so pretty? It has such pretty designs. I love this. But I bought this in the market, I don't know, just because I thought it was cool looking and unique. So anyways, yeah, so we ate and then we went into, I guess, the bazaar. It's like, so the market, the plaza is open, okay, like no roof. People just have like tents over their stalls or whatever, or they just don't have anything, they just are selling stuff like wherever. But like it was like a big building, okay, and just a whole bunch of shops like up and down. It's not even rows, it's just all over the place. So I don't even know how I found my way through it, and I'll get to that later, but yeah, it's all over the place. It's so busy, people are everywhere, like, and always keep your hand on your purse, ladies, and guys, keep your wallets probably not in your back pocket when you go there, if you go there. Yeah, just pay attention. Nothing happened to us, thank God. So that was that incident. And yeah, so after that, everything pretty much went smoothly. We just explored a ton, took hella pictures, of course, ate a lot of food. It was really fun. I loved it. And one of my favorite parts actually was the hostel that we stayed in. So the room we stayed in was okay. All 10 of us stayed in one room, and yeah, it was okay because we all had, it was bunk beds. So there was 5 bunk beds in this small room. The main portion had no roof. It was open, and so in the morning time the sun would shine down, and there was just so many colors, like colorful rugs, colorful sheets all over the place, and everything was colorful. And when it was daytime, it was so gorgeous, and I loved it. And looking, so when we first got to the hostel, it was run by like they were pretty much in their 20s. They were like the same age as us. It was 2 guys and a girl, and they served us tea, and it's very traditional to have mint tea. So all in all, the trip was fabulous, and yeah, if you ever want to go, I truly recommend that you go to Marrakech. It's just really fun. So yeah. So the last thing that I did on the trip, like right before we were going to leave, was I went into the bazaar by myself, just because I wanted to go by myself and try to get good deals, and it was so crazy. So we all left the hostel and we wanted to ride camels. So earlier in our trip we had met somebody named Ahmed, and he pretty much just like integrated himself in our group, and we saw him throughout our trip, and so he brought us to go see camels, or not see camels, but to ride camels, and he paid for us to ride these camels, all of us, and I thought that that was so genuine and like such a nice thing to do. And he said it's just because like he just wanted to make sure we had a good time, and he actually told us like a lot of good places to go to, and it was just awesome that he did that for us. So we rode camels, and I'll of course insert pictures because I don't think I have video of that, but I do have pictures, so you'll at least be able to see. And that was a really cool experience. It's not like riding a horse. Camels are, well, I guess they can be fast too, but they're very slow. But it was still cool and exciting to ride a camel. I don't know, I never rode a camel before, so I liked the experience. For whatever reason, we thought that it was gonna be okay to walk to the airport. Oh, Ahmed said that it wasn't that far, but his far and our far are 2 completely different things, because it was far. We literally walked in that freaking Moroccan heat for like 45 minutes, and each time a taxi drove by, I really debated on if I should just leave everybody and get in that taxi and just go to the airport. But we were all joking, like making jokes and laughing and talking, so it did make the time pass a little bit quicker. However, it was still torturous heat. I did not like that, but we survived and we made it to the airport. He actually walked us to the airport because we didn't know where we were going, so he didn't find it excruciating, probably because he's Moroccan and he lives there, so he's probably used to that heat. Say hello, Snorlax. Say hello. Hello. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it somewhat entertaining and informal. If you have any feedback, leave comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my other videos. Other videos will be down in the description box as well as all my social medias. And yeah, see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye.